Hello, my name is Rob Putt, Pastor Rob Putt, and I have the privilege of speaking with you today and give a tribute to my dear friend, Pastor Olavi Orpana. I have in my hand here 3 little pieces of wood, and these little pieces of wood were given to me actually for our boys, for Bart and Tim, about 40 years ago by Pastor Apana, and they have had a funny way of staying with us all these years. I just went out on my workbench in my garage, and sure enough, I found these 3. When I see these, I think of Pastor Apana, but there's many other reasons to think of Pastor Apana, and of course his dear wife, Olga. And of course, as the years went on, I got to meet all the family and have been truly blessed to know each one. It is with my deepest condolences to each of you as we remember dear Pastor Apana. I had the privilege of meeting Pastor Apana about 1982, 1983. I was a literature evangelist in the Ottawa Valley back in those days. And I was blessed to enjoy a number of meals at the Orpana's residence. Back in those days, they were living just outside of Pembroke. And we developed a friendship at that time that has spanned all these years. And it was through his influence that Pastor Apana contacted the Florida Conference, sorry, not the Florida Conference, that's where I work now, but the Ontario Conference, to ask if I could serve with him 1 day a week at the Pembroke Church, because at that time I believe he had just built a house in Carlton Place, and he needed, it was quite a bit of driving back and forth, and I think he might have had a third church as well. So he asked the conference if I could join pastor 1 day a week, and then it moved on to 2 days a week. Then it moved on to 3 days a week. In 1987, it went to full-time pastoring in the Ontario Conference. And so from those days, I served, many years I've been serving ministry for basically 41 years, whether between literature evangelism and full-time pastoring. But if it wasn't for Pastor Apana, things may have been very different. So I, right from the very beginning, I have had a great appreciation for Pastor Apana and for his encouragement to me, his support, his love, and of course also Olga and the rest of the family have been, very kind as well. And so this was a beautiful opportunity to enter into pastoral ministry. And then over the years, we have maintained our friendship, and he went on to pastor in other areas. He was pastoring in Midland back in the 1991. In 1992, he was pastoring in Midland and I believe also Aurelia. And he invited me to come over and do an evangelistic series there. And I had the privilege of doing that and working with Pastor Apana. And we baptized a lady whose name was Gwen. Her husband later was baptized. And that was exciting. But that was a work that was very interesting because Sister Davis was the one who did the groundwork for that evangelistic series. And Sister Davis also worked in Coburg some years later, and I had the privilege of pastoring in Coburg and Pastor Apana then at that time was our head elder, and I had the privilege of working with him there. I went on to Belleville and Madoc, and he continued on with other pastors that came in after that. So I've had the privilege of knowing Pastor Apana and Olga for many years, and I just have been so blessed by Pastor Pana's ministry, his faithfulness. He was a solid Adventist minister. And so I just wanted to say thank the Lord for his ministry and many, many, many people that he influenced and blessed over his many years of pastoring. And so as we remember him today, we certainly look forward to that day when at the great resurrection that he will be ushered into God's kingdom, and with many, many wonderful people around him, his family, and his all those that he's served through the years. And by the grace of God, I'll be there in my family, and we certainly have been so blessed to know Pastor Pana. So thank you for the privilege of saying a few words of encouragement to the family as we look up. I love the text that tells us, "Blessed are they that die in the Lord from henceforth, for they rest from their labors, and their works do follow them." We're thankful that dear Pastor Pan is resting, but it won't be long before we're gathered together on a wonderful reunion day. God bless you all as we remember Pastor Pan today and always. God bless.